Once it starts counting, once that thing starts turning, stops buffering. Takes
Buffer
a while.
moments.
Now we're going.
Hey, now we're live. What do you know? We are live on the Vinny Mac Show.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Vinny Mac. It's Kaye Lazar right here. We
Again.
are here on your screens again to do another great episode of the Vinny Mac Show.
Yes.
Yes.
Another great episode.
Another great episode.
We can't. It never stops.
No, it keeps on going, one after another.
It's like The Sopranos. You don't really have to watch the individual things. Just watch. Just wherever you interrupt the show, just continue it until you get tired of it, and then or you have to go to sleep or go to work, or something. and it's the middle of the fifth show or the eighth show, and then it's just one long movie we're doing.
Yeah,
where we talk to the screen.
That's all we do. It's one continuous long episode. But welcome everyone to our show. We are glad you're here with us tonight. You know what, Kevin? It's like every time I come over here, either there's a threat of rain or a threat of storms. I don't know if that's telling me something, or basically it's like I'm bad luck when it comes to weather.
We actually next door a guy does an Indian rain dance. He used to work for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And he did a rain dance every time Hank Aaron would hit a home run. And they got rid of that.
Yes.
Because it was politically incorrect.
Incorrect.
I don't think the guy was an American Indian.
No, I don't think so either.
Now, if he was, they would have got Jay Silverheels to do it or something. Yeah. Then he probably would have been all right. But...
Well, speaking of Indians, I got my Chicago Blackhawks shirt on tonight. And
they're not renaming that team, right?
No, they're not. They're not. Matter of fact, the Black Hawk tribe is very proud of this team because they've won.
Yeah. Bobby Ho.
Bobby Ho.
The day.
And good old Jonathan Taze and Patrick Cade, and Patrick Sharp, the winners. And we can't forget Crawford, the big time goalie. Now I got my Washington team up here. Now the reason why they want their item off the name is because they haven't won anything. It's like, why?
We talked about this once before, and I think I don't think we went into detail. I noticed that whenever the Redskins were doing well, there was more of a outcry to change their name. But when they were in last place or so, nobody, so what?
No, so what?
But when RG3 was there. Yeah. they now wait a minute. They've always had that name. In fact, what even Washington? It was the Chicago Redskins.
Yes, I think if I remember, But I gotta go back in football history. Yeah. Well, tonight's episode, believe it or not, is the first night of the NFL season starting. Yeah, Kansas City and Houston, world champion Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
Yeah, but believe it or not, Kevin, we'll go back into sports in a little bit. Before our show started, I told you some news about JetBlue.
Yes.
And it's amazing. We're flying out of Richmond on JetBlue starting in November. Right now it's September. They're going to go from here to Tampa nonstop.
All right.
And then in December, they're going to go from Richmond to LA and to Los Angeles nonstop. I didn't think that could be done out of Richmond.
They never. I mean, there's no planes that go to Los Angeles nonstop.
No, I don't think so.
The only time I've ever taken a plane to Los Angeles, I went to New York first, and then I had to go.
Yeah, you always.
And I wanted. Oh, you want to know what I want to do? I took a plane to New York. Now every time I go to New York, I take a bus or a train. I never take a plane. But because I was on my way to Australia, and Los Angeles, because that's where you meet the plane. They said, why don't I take the plane to New York, and I get to see the skyscrapers and everything that you don't see them at all on a plane ride.
No,
you see them better on a bus or on a plane when you're in New Jersey. I don't know. You must be. I guess you come around it into Long Island, and you don't. or Queens, and you don't see you don't see that. I wanted to see the tall buildings from like they see like at the beginning of Kojak, the credits or something, and you don't see that.
No, no, it's like airspace. Go around New York. You're not allowed to come into New York space just yet. Go around us. You're not allowed to see the tall buildings.
When you were when immigrants came to America over the years, they went to Ellis Island and ship. Usually, my mother came on a ship, and they not the Ellis Island. It was pretty much closed by that time, but it was the same deal where they went on a ship for 2 weeks before, a week or so before you got there. So you saw the Statue of Liberty. You saw the big skyscrapers and everything. But you saw King Kong on the top of it. But you didn't. But now an immigrant comes to America, goes to New York. Where's the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah. Now this poses a question before I go back to travel. King Kong, is he an immigrant?
Yeah, and he was taken almost like slaves were. I mean, if you saw the movies, there's like a lot of King Kong movies. It was very unfortunate for King Kong. You actually feel sorry for King Kong because he was put on a stage to perform, and of course that didn't work out. He busted out. It opened the King Kong Broadway show opened and closed on one night.
Yeah. I hope everybody got their money's worth.
Well, I think I would, it's really funny if you see the movie and you're in the audience, pretend you're in the audience, and I mean, and at the play that when King Kong is brought to Broadway, can you imagine? And he busts out and he goes into and starts eating people and goes out the door. Can you imagine that there are people probably in the balcony, you didn't get anywhere near King Kong. Wow, how do they do this every night? What a show! Then he climbs.
In
fact, if I remember right, maybe I got my time wrong. But the show is at night. But then when you see him on top of the Empire State Building, it's the daytime.
Yeah.
So did the sun event? I mean, he must have been hiding for a long time.
He must have.
In the subways or something. I'm not going to fit him.
You're trying to get a token.
Trying to get to the turnstile. Yeah. King Kong is like one of my favorite movies, the original one in the 1930s, and it was. I'd seen it so many times, and then once I was, I think I was going in and out of sleep once. I was so tired, and King Kong came on TCM, and I'd seen it enough times I didn't really have to watch it. I just heard the dialogue, and it had one of the great music scores I've ever heard. I mean, you don't realize when you see the visuals and everything how good it was, but I didn't realize how good the music score by Max Steiner. And you forget that when you go to the movies, how important the score is. Like Psycho has a great score. Citizen Kane has a great score. Jaws has a great score. And all those composers, and the composers, they all made their mark on those films to the point that they got hired for other films to make similar scores.
As a matter of fact, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I think it's Ed Koloff, who did the theme song for The Price is Right.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went on the Double Dare. Then goes on to, I think it's Finders Keepers. He does all these Nickelodeon shows.
Oh, he's their house composer.
Yeah, pretty much.
He wrote the Price is Right theme. Wow.
Yes.
I know that. It's that. Oh, there's a movie called MASH, and a TV show called MASH, and the director's son, Robert Altman's son, wrote the lyrics to the theme song, the MASH, that you never hear on the show. But because his name was included in the composer credit, I forget something Altman is the son, director's son, and Johnny Mandel wrote the music. They had they shared the royalties from that show being on for 11 years, and Robert Altman's son, Robert Altman directed MASH. The son made more money eventually from the royalties writing part of the theme song. Da 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 da. That they show with the helicopters at the beginning of the show. So yeah, you know. Oh, and we always talk about this show has no music
No,
because we don't want to pay the royalties.
That's right. I'm that. Well, no.
They've actually muted stuff on YouTube. If you like put a popular song at the beginning, there's some sort of censor that they know right away. I mean, nobody. In fact, nobody puts and they'll mute the whole audio. You can see it. We did over the years the Gorgeous George show, and they would have this Dolly Parton song at the
Oh
beginning. And as a result,
yes.
all the stuff, and we had to eventually had a lot of it's still muted, but we had to take the beginning out just so we could get to the wonderful part of us talking. but and so when you put popular music. It's best. Somebody said just hire your friends to write music for your show.
Yeah.
Because they'd be happy to do it, and that gives them a chance to shine.
Get a
If you
chance to
put a
shine.
popular song in a movie
Mhm.
or a TV show or even on the YouTube stuff, and it becomes popular, like you put, for example, you put a song from a Broadway musical from the 1920s, or even a rock and roll song from the 1950s, and those people who wrote it are probably not alive anymore. Well, the grandson and his lawyer will knock on your door and say, "Where's my money?" So
I think the Three Stooges is relatives are doing that right now, but they deserve it.
Yeah. Wait, the Three Stooges. That's a good point you made about the three. I read a whole article about that. That people were using their likeness to sell stuff, not so much music, but yeah, and they actually hired, I think, Bela Lugosi's. This is weird. His grandson is a lawyer, or his son is a lawyer, a very good copyright lawyer, and they were trying that families. The Three Stooges are all gone now, but the families are trying to get. Now, what's really weird is that the Three Stooges were very low budget. In the day, Columbia Pictures would not even pay Harry Cohn would not pay them anything.
Cheapskate.
He was a cheapskate. And the crazy thing is, if you actually listen to the music on the Three Stooges, they had two themes. The one was listen to the Mockingbird, da 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 da. The other one was Three Blind Mice. Both songs in the public domain. They didn't even want to pay for new songs written for them. They took stuff. Public domain stuff.
Oh my goodness!
Music that no one's gonna. It's
that
like,
cheap.
It's like using. It's like using. I think most patriotic songs are in the public domain. Not God Bless America. I think all the money from God Bless America for the longest time only Kate Smith could sing.
Kate Smith, yeah.
She could sing it, but she didn't make any money off of it. But it made her popular. Irving Berlin wrote the song, and he gave all the royalties, probably to the state of the Boy Scouts of America. And it's one of the most profitable royalties songs ever because, and the Boy Scouts have done quite well as a result of that. Yeah. So I'm glad it went to charity. No one should profit from a patriotic song. No one person.
Look like we got some live folks. Nice. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. But basically, going back to the Three Stooges real quick.
Oh, weren't they the best?
They were awesome. They were great. And I remember the story you always told me about the tragic week in 1975. And when Mo died.
Mo and Larry died around the same time.
Yeah. And then I think when Mo died, I think you told me that same week, I think Groucho died.
No, it was Elvis and Groucho died the same week.
Oh, Elvis and
Groucho. 1977.
Okay.
Like I used to remember years very well growing up. Now I can't. Now it was 1992 and 93 and 94. I don't know when. But back then, I knew 1975, 76, 77. I knew. I don't know why. I had nothing else to do. Just in high school and stuff. So, you look at my internet age. It's a lot. It's a lot younger than
that's
my
right.
real age.
Don't believe his age. Don't believe it. Whatever it is, subtract 20 years off.
Yeah. It's yeah. In fact, even when I was a younger man, like in my 20s, I would, that wasn't any different. I just rattled off stuff about old time movies, old time sports, old time statistics. I probably had Asperger's syndrome. My mother, I cursed so much. My mother thought I had Tourette syndrome. All the syndromes. I got over all that stuff. But anyway, I used to rattle off all the stuff. And a lot of old guys would say, "Hey, it is before your time. You don't know what you're talking about." And then I would rattle and say, "Oh, you do know what you're talking about." Yeah, I read and listen. Now I talk.
Now you talk.
Now I just jibber jabber.
You talk to the millions that are out there.
My many dozen fans.
Well, this is a perfect timing to bring in our sponsors, as always. Once again, our sponsors, and everybody on the internet knows we are sponsored by Skunk Remover Soap. That's right. Get that soap. Get that soap. Remove that skunk. There you go. It's like, remove it. It's like, there you go. And we had another sponsor that just came on.
Good.
Trim Fat. Remember, we're trimming all the fat on our show. We slice it up just like what Eddie Murphy says. We just lost 300 pounds in 30 seconds.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Oh, I saw a really good show with Eddie Murphy. But let me talk about a skunk. Now, the skunk remover made a tomato sauce. Soap made that is delicious on your.
Yes.
You could actually grate it on your spaghetti.
Yeah. Tomato sauce. It's used for 2 uses.
Eddie Murphy was saying how I saw him on that Jerry Seinfeld show.
Oh yeah.
The comedians drinking coffee, driving hot rods, whatever it's called. But he was talking about how he was unfairly singled out by Bill Cosby because he actually makes jokes about it in Raw.
Oh, that's right.
And he said there were a lot of comedians talking filthy. He goes, "Why did Bill Cosby after me?" And he figured, and I think Richard Pryor told him because he's jealous. That's why he wants to be the big deal, and he doesn't like this young guy doing. And he said that. Now this is really weird. He said that when he went to when he was starting out in clubs, well, not starting out, he was already kind of popular at this point, and his favorite comedian was Richard Pryor.
Right.
But he said he never warmed up. Richard Pryor never warmed up to him. And what happened was whenever he was performing at a comedy club, he would want to see Richard Pryor. Right. But then if he was performing, Richard Pryor didn't want to go see him. He goes, if Eddie Murphy here, I don't want to see him. And he'd go on, and he found out that there was a time at these old time comedians that there was only room for one black comedian. There was and Richard Pryor wanted to be that guy, and Eddie Murphy was on his heels, just like I mentioned about Cosby. Okay. Cosby similarly did not like Richard Pryor on his heels.
Right.
And before Cosby, Dick Gregory did not want Cosby on his heels. Dick Gregory wasn't as popular as but he was popular in his day.
Yes, he was.
And but now everybody. There's room for everybody. Yeah.
See,
but that was weird. Yeah,
that is weird because there used to be back in the old days a line of succession. You had in my father's time and my grandfather's time, it was like Red Fox. Yeah. And then you go to Richard Pryor, and then you go to Eddie Murphy. But Bill Cosby was never a part of that trio because he was the clean comedian. These guys were filthy and nasty. Yeah. But that was the line of succession when it came to black comedians. But it was really shocking that they would not see each other. But it's amazing they would make a movie together.
They would. Well, they did. I guess they did. There was still a lot of tension as to a little jealousy if the other one did better. I remember the Cos and Richard Pryor made a few movies together. One was a California Suite by Neil Simon, which was pretty good. But as for Cosby, he maybe those other guys were filthy and everything, but they didn't get in all the trouble that Cosby got into. He may have been the worst. I'm not talking about in show business. He might be the worst serial rapist of all time. Yeah, no. I mean, a guy that could, that could have all the girlfriends he wanted in a typical way.
Yes.
He would do the things he did, which is he's and his
It's
reputation's in ruins, and he was a funny man, and that is why you should always try to be on the these guys, I think they get so popular and so powerful. Even rich guys, I mean, even not people in showbiz, but even people who run companies and stuff. They think that no one's gonna believe anyone any says anything bad about them. No one's gonna believe anything that they're accused of. So no one's gonna believe someone.
Yeah, no one's gonna believe
you.
And basically, Cosby did ruin everything because he ruined his life. He threw away too many of them Jello pudding pops to all them people and all them ladies. But you're right.
Ads, He did the new Coke ads.
New Coke ads. And
I knew he was lying there. New Coke,
But you're right, Kevin. Those three comedians did not get in much trouble as Bill Cosby did.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see Bill now. He looks like a statue.
Yeah.
It's like he goes from a nice looking old man to a gargoyle statue within 3 days.
Well, that's what the big house would do.
Yeah.
Well, also the devastation. I mean, they have everything to lose. I mean, things like that happen to me. Who's gonna?
Yeah.
I can only go up. Once I go to jail, I can only go up from there. Other than speeding tickets, I don't think I've gotten it. It's too much trouble.
Neither have I.
I spend my whole life keeping one step ahead of the sheriff.
Yes. I keep one step ahead of the officers and the sheriff. I am so far ahead of them. I actually went into the academy and tried to be one. No.
The police academy.
Yeah, I go to the police academy, stay well ahead of them.
I've seen these documentaries with Steve Guttenberg about the police academy.
Oh, great movie.
Is that how they really are? A guy with sound effects. You know why that guy never made it?
Michael Winslow. Yes.
Michael Winslow's funny, man. I mean, he's funny doing those. But you know why he never made it as a big star like Robin Williams or somebody? Because I saw him once do stand up, and he's not all that funny. He's good at the sound effects, but you can't really do it. An hour and a half. I know. Do about. And now here's a window opening. Thank you. You have to tell jokes.
It's true.
There are you have to be funny.
You do.
You have to be funny if you're an impressionist.
Yes.
You have to be funny if you're a magician, or my friend John Austin's a juggler. He has to make jokes all day. You can't just juggle and say, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Set things on fire and throw things at people. You can't get on a unicycle. You cannot. You actually have to. You have to keep it live. When you make a speech to let's try to sell vacuum cleaners or something, you have to be funny.
You gotta be funny.
You can't just say, "Oh, look how great this works."
Well, I guess that leaves me out then. but going back into that line of succession, after Eddie Murphy, you got Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Now after Dave Chappelle, I don't know who else you got. But
he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, until he decided to quit. But hey, that was his choice. But,
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Oh, that's right. I know who's after the line of succession with Dave Chappelle. Yeah. It's George.
George Waller?
Oh, that's a funny comedian right there, George Waller.
Oh, is he great?
Oh, my goodness. Have you ever seen him in Richmond?
No. Well, Chris Rock, I've seen. And George Wallace, I always miss George Wallace when he comes down. George Wallace, I mean, I haven't seen George Wallace in a long time, but he's very funny. Yeah, well, they're all funny.
They're all funny.
Yeah.
I say one of the greatest lines in a movie I probably have ever heard of was, and it was funny to me. I know for a lot of people, maybe they might not understand it, was when he did Friday, and he took his son, which was Ice Cube, right?
Ice Cube. Oh, Friday, yeah.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
And he takes him over to his brother's house, okay? That means his brother won the lottery. He's going to Rancho Cucamonga. George Wallace, he's mad and everything. Is like, I can't believe the guy won the lottery. So he dumps off his son over at his brother's house, and he says, "Don't slam my door." And then, of course, his brother slams his door. And then after that, he says, "I can't believe the man had." No, it was he says, "I can't believe the man won a lot." No, no, I can't seem to get it right. I was like, I can't believe it. No, the man can't even count to 10. I can't believe he won the lottery. Ain't that a bitch? Which was so funny.
I don't know what I'd do if I won the lottery. I'd find something to do.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. But I'm not talking about like $1 million. I'm talking like those people win like $200 million. $500 million.
I think in the movie his brother won $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he bought the big house and all that type of stuff. But yeah, that was the funniest line probably I've ever listened to.
Yeah, I know.
Man can't even count to 10. All of a sudden wins the lottery.
I'm one of those people buy lottery tickets when it gets really big. When at that point you can't win.
That's right.
Even if you win, you would probably share it with 30 people.
Oh, I would.
Yeah, you would share it with 30 people with the same number.
Oh, yeah. That sucks. It's like, here's the $600 million jackpot. Oh, 60 people won.
Yeah.
So everybody gets 10 million. Oh, but here comes the taxes. And we're going to take all your taxes. Oh, you want a lump sum? Oh, okay. What's my final total? Oh, $50.
I never understood
how much you want.
I never understood the lump sum. I would take it as long as somebody said that if you don't take the lump sum, then they then actually if you invest it now, even in just savings bonds or something, by the time you would have gotten the last bit of the $200 million, you would have gotten it would have worked out for you. But you could work it out better if you take the money now and invest it, rather than whenever the check is in the mail, your money devalues. So someone told me something really weird about how money works. It's really cool. It said that this is the analogy they told me was the Southland Corporation out of Texas, who owns all the 7-Elevens. What happened was they had two different brokerage houses running them, running the finances of them. And one was, this is back before the internet. One was on the East Coast and one was on the West Coast. And they would, and this is really weird, they would, the one on the West Coast would pay the bills on the East Coast for all the franchises. And then the one on the East Coast would pay the bills for all the ones on the West Coast. And the whole point was there was a whole month that they had to wait for all the money to get through. But that was good for the Southland Corporation because that deferred their taxes for another month. And we're talking millions, maybe billions of dollars. And that made a difference, maybe a couple $100,000 a month or so.
Wow, I did not know that, Kev.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Now,
I'll tell you the same sort of reasoning is that when you a lot of people get these big tax refunds when tax time comes, and they said don't get a big tax refund. Just pay, just get as much money as you can, and then write a check when April 15th comes, because basically they're not giving you a free gift from the government. They're giving you your money back to you, and they're giving you your money back to you without any interest and without even a thank you note. So go ahead about the Southland Corporation.
Now, do they own all the 7-Elevens worldwide?
They probably do.
Because I remember when I was in Japan, that's all they got over there is 7-Elevens, and the rival store, I believe, is Lawson's. And 7-Elevens in Japan are pretty cool.
Slurpees.
Slurpees, yeah.
The pickled eggs.
Pickled eggs. Get some chopsticks and everything.
I remember the first time I ever had. Let me tell you something like 7-Eleven or any of these convenience stores, but 7-Eleven is like the catch-all for them. Was they used to be open at 7 and closed at 11, and then they made a big deal open at 6 to 11, and then now they're open all the time.
Yeah.
So I just love the Slurpees. I was a
Oh,
little kid, and I
yeah.
couldn't believe it.
Slurpees are awesome.
A Slurpee is a daiquiri without any alcohol in it.
Yeah.
No wonder it's so good. A friend of mine tells me she takes Slurpees home and mixes, rum and stuff,
Ooh.
and makes her own. And I don't have to buy daiquiri mix. I just buy the Slurpee. So anyway,
Oh.
the first time I had a sausage,
Mhm.
well, those red hot sausages
Yeah.
in the big pickle jar. Someone actually gave me like a dime, and they bought like the quarter sausage for me,
Uh-huh.
and said, "I'll give you a dime if you can eat that whole thing." And I'm a little kid,
Uh-huh.
but I'm getting a dime. But first off, first thing you gotta know about 7-Eleven is that they get mad if you read the magazines, and
Yes.
also they have everything you shouldn't have at 7-Eleven. They have candy, they have cigarettes, they have beer,
Uh-huh.
they Slurpees. There's no, like, at least when I was growing up, there's no produce section there. It was all vices there. They had these toothpicks that were cinnamon. I never used toothpicks,
Right.
but I like sucking the cinnamon. Got to the point you got tired and you just chewed up the whole
Yeah.
wood. Yeah.
Oh, yummy wood.
Yeah.
Yum.
Some fiber.
Oh, but yeah, let me tell you.
Tell me about Lawson's.
Lawson's
In
is
Japan?
in Japan. It's a rival convenience store to 7-Eleven.
They don't have a
And
Japanese name, like
they do, but I can't figure it out. But 7-Elevens are everywhere.
Yoshiro's.
Yeah, Mushbishis.
Musbishi.
Mushbishis. But 7-Elevens are everywhere in Japan.
Mhm.
When I was there, it's like, oh, 7-Eleven right there. Oh, 7-Eleven right there. It's like, what the heck?
Ah.
7-Elevens. And then you saw your Lawsons. So I went to.
What was the difference? What that was probably a very thin difference.
It's very, very thin. I think the
Yeah.
7-Elevens have more items than the Lawsons in
Mhm.
Japan. But I like them both.
Yeah.
They're both good.
I never go to 7-Eleven. I never go to convenience stores.
Oh.
I can't think, except to buy a lottery ticket. That's about the only time you'll ever see me in one. Now, I did know that I was traveling and somewhere, and all the pizza places were closed. It was like a Sunday, and they actually had like blue laws there.
Mhm.
And the 7-Elevens were open, and they actually had pizza there for like $1 a piece, or like
What?
$2 a piece, which I thought was a very good deal.
Yeah.
But then and the pizza was pretty good, but somebody told me it was like a frozen pizza. But it was a good frozen pizza, but it
okay.
was still and there was no guy throwing up back dough and like they do in
He's not
in
doing
the
it in New
pizza.
York.
Yeah, it's basically, I got to tell you a funny story about Subway.
Yeah.
I go to a ball game, and I'm with my friend Brent, and he said, "Let's eat something." The food at the ballpark is not so great. Let's go to Subway. And there was the Subway was nearby, and there was a long line in the Subway. But but eventually I got all this time I'm looking around, so what I get, because I don't really eat a lot of fast food. So, but Subway is pretty good. So what happened was I go to Subway, and they had pizza there. They had like a pan pizza or something.
Oh.
So for like $5 or something. So
Okay.
so I'm about to order it. Oh no, I did order it. And then Subway they cook it right. They cook everything in front of you.
Yes.
They make the sandwich right in front of you, which is great. You tell them, I don't want that. Take that off. The guy went to the refrigerator, took the frozen pizza out of the thing. Was about to put it in the microwave. Said, "Hey, what's that?" He goes, "It's your pizza." And I said, "I don't want. You got it out of the refrigerator. Now you're just going to heat it up and give it to me?" I thought it was like a real pizza. I can do this at home. So I wasn't in the mood for something. I didn't eat anything. But that was fine. I ate again eventually.
Yeah,
I just didn't eat then. I can miss a meal.
Here you go. Here's your frozen pizza. Enjoy.
Yeah. So a lot of this, the fast food, anyone who works at fast food could tell you this. is that they make it so that that's basically everything you eat in fast food
Yes.
with little change is frozen and cooked to their specifications that they know you like it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why you could go to a McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken
Mhm.
anywhere in the country and get the same tasting meal.
Yes.
It's not going to taste the whole because it's made from it came from the same place to
Same
send it
place.
frozen and
Mhm.
heated up.
Yep.
So I'm more into eating raw fruits and vegetables and sandwich. I like Subway. I mean I like the sandwiches
Subway's
are
all
good.
right,
But a lot of people don't like. I mean, a lot of people tell me they don't like those places. But I think the Quiznos and all those. I think they're pretty good.
they're all
If
right.
I'm going to eat anything, that's what I eat on the outside. Yeah.
I'll usually eat a lot of things, trust
Yeah.
me. But anyway, I was like, that reminds me, going back to that JetBlue going
Yes.
from Richmond to LA. I remember going to LA one time, and they had these nice restaurants in LA,
Hmm.
restaurants that you don't see here in Richmond.
You
And
mean like fast food places?
yeah, it was like Jack in the Box.
Oh, like Jack in the Box. They
And
have an In-N-Out
In-N-Out
burger.
Burger, yeah, and
They have
Whataburgers.
they have the taco. That's really good.
Yeah, I don't remember the
Yeah.
taco place
You know,
name.
some of those places are on the East Coast, like at
Mhm,
airports and stuff, but
mhm.
you have to find them.
Yeah.
I know that there's a place in Maryland that sells really good milkshakes, and King's Dominion
Oh.
and King's Dominion is the only place in Virginia that has it. So you have to get a season's pass to King's
Uh-huh.
Dominion, the amusement park, to go to this place.
Is it
Yeah,
is it Highs?
highs. I forget what it's called. Maybe it's not milkshake. I think it's frozen ices or something.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a
Yeah.
silly name like Sarah's or
Oh,
Ida's or something. I mean it's not something. It's something that's not in Virginia,
right.
so I don't know it.
It's
Um,
big boys.
I know that they it seems like every time I go to the airport there's an Auntie Anne's pretzels,
Yeah.
and you don't really see that other than at airports
I mean,
and truck stops.
and truck
Yeah,
stops. Yeah.
people that are moving want have a hankering for those big pretzels.
Well, I'll try to be one of the first contestants on the plane to LA,
Yes.
and
What are you gonna do when you get there?
probably go to Japan.
Get out of LA on the way to Japan.
On my way to Japan.
Yeah.
I hope that's successful for JetBlue because
Yeah.
that's nice to have a cross country one-way trip from the
Yeah.
east side all the way to the west side. Because I
Yeah.
think the longest flight from Richmond you can do now is to Denver on
Yeah.
United. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
A
Yeah,
mile high.
mile high.
You know that the ball games in Denver don't allow the blimp
Yeah.
because or should I say nature doesn't allow the blimp because the blimp can't go that high. It's elevation's too high. Yeah. I don't know what happens to the blimp. Does it explode like the Hindenburg or something? But that hasn't happened yet because
No.
they know about the Hindenburg.
Yep, yep.
That was all about hydrogen, actually. Hydrogen and helium. Is a big difference.
Well, Denver's a nice
You know, I've,
city.
I've never been on a blimp.
Neither have
That's
I.
something I should do. That's the next thing I should try to do. Is get on my
Okay.
blimp.
Get on a blimp, get with the Goodyear people. It's like, hey, I want to go around on a blimp.
Have you ever been in a helicopter?
Yes, one time.
Or what was that like?
Well, let's just say it's
It looks
not,
scary.
it does, but it's not as fast as jets.
Yeah.
So I've been on a few helicopters because I
Oh, wait
was.
a minute. Yeah, Navy man.
Mhm. Yep, yep.
So you've been on quite a few. Okay,
Yeah.
I've only been on a helicopter at the state fair for $10 and went up for about 5 minutes
Uh-huh.
and flew around for a while. It's kind of scary being in that little
Oh,
You felt like an astronaut.
yeah, that's true. Little.
You feel like you're not. There's not really a whole lot keeping you
Mhm.
between you and the ground,
Yeah.
and you're going pretty high up. On a
Yeah,
helicopter.
claustrophobic sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Let's see. I've been. You ever ridden a motorcycle?
I have,
Yeah.
but when I was only a kid.
Yeah. I used to ride motorcycles And in fact, I used to ride a motorcycle in Ireland when I was living there, and my mother didn't know about it.
Uh-huh.
And what happened was, I'm riding on a motorcycle. This is an awful story,
Uh-huh.
and I wiped out, went on in a what do you call it, the potholes in the
Oh yeah,
road.
potholes. Uh-huh.
And there's plenty of them in Ireland. There's plenty of men everywhere, but there was plenty of them in Ireland. And I skidded out, and I thought I died. I mean, I thought, I'm gonna die. But
Uh-huh.
I kind of just got kind of bruised up and all.
Uh-huh.
Picked up the motorcycle, quietly rode it very slowly home,
Uh-huh.
and never rode it again
Never.
because there's no seat belts.
That's
You
right.
know,
No
I was wearing a
seatbelts.
helmet though.
Well, that's good
Yeah.
because
I must have the helmet somewhere around.
oh my goodness. Yeah, you just take that motorcycle quietly, put it over in the
I
corner,
know.
and say thank you.
Yeah. This happened about a year ago. A guy was riding a motorcycle with
Uh-huh.
a child on the back in like a
Oh.
baby seat in the back, and I'd never seen that before. And then I realized, wait a minute, I don't even know if that's safe or allowed.
Yeah.
And I noticed that had this guy, he was sort of in front of me, a lot of room because I didn't want the baby, not the baby, but the child to be.
Yeah.
And then I noticed all the other cars had that same bubble around them.
Oh.
And that was pretty foolhardy.
Yeah.
That's like something. Gosh, I mean, that's. I don't know if he does it all the time, but sooner
Yeah.
or later a cop's going to say,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah. Hey.
I'm not even sure the baby wore a helmet."
Oh
I now
my
remember,
goodness.
but I do remember seeing a child. There's a child in Raising Arizona on a motorcycle.
Oh, that was a
That's a
funny
movie.
That was a movie. That was a funny movie.
Yeah. Randall Tex Cobb.
Yes, yes. Tex Cobb.
Yeah.
Boy, has he had a career.
Yeah. Yeah.
But luckily for us, we got one more sponsor who just joined us.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Here,
And here for the third sponsor for the Vinny Mac Show. It's GA, Gamblers Anonymous. Gamblers Anonymous. And
very anomalous. It's quite an anomaly.
it's quite an anomaly, yes.
Anonymous. I thought he was that Greek guy that causes all the trouble.
That's right. If you're having any gambling issues, Gamblers Anonymous will take care of all that for you. But we gamble all the time, so we don't have to worry about that. We make lots and lots and lots of pennies.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know how to. I gamble like slots, and that's about it.
Uh-huh.
And I know I'm going to lose it all.
Yeah.
I know I could lose it all. So
Uh-huh.
any money I make, I put that aside, and then when the original money is gone, then I just keep up with anything. Because you do make a little if you keep playing,
Yeah.
but they know that eventually you're going to lose it all.
You're gonna
if you keep
crap
playing.
out,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna crap out.
See, the casinos hate me because I just go over there to watch people lose. It's like, are you gonna put any money in that machine, sir?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm just here to watch this guy lose all his money.
Actually, if you see if you see someone leave a machine, that's when you should go on.
Yeah.
Because now it's ready to pay out.
Yeah. It's like, oh, let me put my money in here. Oh, jackpot! Yay! I hit the big one.
What I once made in a jackpot, I remember like $20.
Oh,
I mean, that's a
nice.
lot.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I mean, I like put a quarter or 50 cents in. I mean, you don't do that anymore. You have a ticket. And it
Yes.
counts it off, and it's really
Yeah.
complicated. I think I told you this. They when you go to the tables,
Uh-huh.
they have chips, and the reason why they have chips is they don't want you to be reminded that each chip is $20, $50, or $100. You just think of them as chips.
Chips. Now, I would like to see one day some guy come over here to the casino tables. Do you have some chips? It's like, yeah, I got some chips. Here's some potato chips. I'm going to wager these.
Take them to Rosie.
Yeah. I got a stack of Ruffles. How much would that cost?
Oh, I got to tell you something about potato chips.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to tell somebody this, and it just dawned on me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, everyone likes Pringles and everything.
Yes,
And
I love
and I
Pringles.
bought everyone loves
Pringles,
Pringles.
yes.
Like that's the only potato chip I don't eat salty food. So but if Pringles are around, I'll have a couple.
Uh-huh.
So I go to the Dollar Tree,
Uh-huh.
and they have their own form of Pringles. It's like Pringles. They're called Lay's Stacks,
Oh, yes,
and they
yes.
look like Pringles. And I was wondering, and they usually cost that type of potato chip usually costs about $2. So
Hmm.
it's $1 there.
Hmm.
So I thought, oh, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's almost Pringles.
Uh-huh.
So what Lay's Stacks, and then I open them up, and half of them are broken.
What?
And there's nothing wrong with the package. The package wasn't dented or anything.
Are you kidding?
How did it break? It's almost like some monster was just shaking up all of them and they're breaking inside and then putting them back.
It was the packagers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually that may have, I mean, they're all in a 24 in a box or some 24
Uh-huh.
canisters. And they probably slammed them down, and then the next guy took it and slammed them down, and then by the time it got to the Dollar Tree, they all it's like a magic trick. Look, they're all perfect now, and then open them, they're all broken.
They're all broken. Oh, that's too bad.
And I'm one of those people that I always think broken cookies and broken potato chips don't taste as good as the ones that are still a body whole.
Whole chips are good chips.
Yes. And
Oh.
I've never been a big chip guy, but I mean I spent $1 for the
Uh-huh.
last time ever buying chips at the Dollar
At the
Tree.
Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree. So you have been to Las Vegas before, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never really stayed in Vegas. I just went in one night for an overnight flight to fly in and fly out.
Oh yeah.
So I think I will stay in Vegas one of these days just to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Oh,
It's well, actually, when I went, I went on a off week
uh-huh.
in September, about 20 years ago, and that's the only time I've been there. And I wanted to see all these performers that were popular at the time. Not 20, it's like
Mm.
close to 30 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
And Frank Sinatra, Dean
Yes.
Martin, Don Rickles, Buddy Hackett. None of them were there. They
What?
were all somewhere else, Atlantic City or Reno or something.
Oh.
So none of them were there. So I go. So the only person of any note was Rich Little.
Oh.
So I went to see Rich Little
Rich Little.
and the Impressionist, and he was very good. And
Yes,
he
he is.
imitated Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Don Rickles and Buddy Hackett, and it almost was like seeing them.
Yeah. Rich Little was a great comedian.
Oh, he's still
Right.
around. Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
alive. In fact, he's one of the most interesting people on talk shows.
Uh-huh.
If you see him today, because he talks all about all of them. Because
Wow.
you watch, old Johnny Carson's, old Dean Martin
Yes.
roasts and stuff. He's
Hmm.
there, you know, and
Wow.
he was like one of the younger guys there. Now he's
Mhm.
like the oldest
Yeah,
comedian.
that was the oldest
He's in
comedian.
his 80s, but he still looks pretty good. He still does all the great voices and everything.
Yes.
So from Canada, Rich Little,
Oh,
and
okay.
in fact, Rich Little has been was in the news recently because
Uh-huh.
Orson Welles' film that was made 30 years ago that was going to have Rich Little in a featured role, which it was actually minimized to a cameo because The
Uh-huh.
Other Side of the Wind was on Netflix. They edited it after it was made like in the early 1970s,
Uh-huh.
and Rich Little was going to play a director in a big part. The part was eventually taken over by Peter Bogdanovich, another director,
Uh-huh.
but sometime actor from The Sopranos. You might remember him as a
Oh,
psychiatrist,
yes.
and he
Yes.
he was so this movie came out and Rich Little was on talk shows talking about it again.
What?
This is just within the last year. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So check it out on Netflix, The Other Side of the Wind. In
Okay.
fact, I like the ad for it. It said, "For the man who brought you Citizen Kane, a brand new movie." Yeah. It was. And a guy, 940, 941 made a film. Then he made a film in the 970s, never finished it, and then they just put it together just last year. For the man who brought you Citizen Kane. Orson Welles. Who was also on Dean Martin roast.
Yeah, I saw one of those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you go on YouTube, check any of those Dean Martin roasts, because the greatest performers, not just of the 1970s, but I mean, we're talking John Wayne and all of them, Jack Benny,
and Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball, they're all there. Yeah, Groucho, and so and they're very funny. I was in, and then I was in, actually that was when in Las Vegas, that I did see a lot of celebrities, because there was a prize fight, Buster Douglas versus defending against Evander Holyfield. And Buster Douglas beat Tyson and was only champion for beating Tyson. Then he lost the next fight. But Buster Douglas. So all the big celebrities were there, and I got to meet a few of them. And then I also saw Red Fox. I mean, I saw him perform Red Fox, and about less than a year later, he was dead.
Oh,
yeah, Red Fox.
Red Fox was something.
Yeah, and that was something to see. Yeah.
That was Red Fox cool.
Red Fox was Red Fox. The last couple of years of his life was in a lot of financial problems. Didn't pay his taxes, and they're taking all his stuff away from him. So a lot of, he was still, he was paid a lot in Las Vegas to keep going, but all that money went back. When you're in, the tax man will, you can. There are no debtors jails in America.
That's right.
You can declare bankruptcy and not pay your creditors, but taxes, they do, at least at one time, maybe not now with Willie Nelson and Donald Trump still rolling around. But there was a time when they used to throw you in jail for tax evasion. They couldn't get Al Capone on murder racketeering and everything, but they got him on tax evasion. And they not only got him on tax evasion, it wasn't like, oh, we're just going to throw tax evasion. That took many years, because they couldn't get an accountant to speak against the thing against Al Capone. Yeah. So Al Capone was one of the few gangsters that didn't die in a shootout. He died in Florida, I think, in his mansion.
The IRS always gets their people.
Yeah. It is the greatest. It is the most. It's the agency that wields probably the most power, because it actually could bring a lot of powerful people down. Because I think it was, the story goes, because Jimmy Hoffa was in league with the gangsters, and Robert Kennedy was trying to defeat the gangsters. Jimmy Hoffa went to jail for, as you see the movie The Irishman, or any movie about Hoffa, and he felt that was the auditing and all that stuff was as a result of IRS auditing, and everything was as a result of wielding power. Well, if we can't get him on this, we'll make sure, we'll figure out a way he didn't pay his taxes.
That's right. We'll get you on taxes.
Yeah.
Well, Las Vegas, you can lose a lot of money out there. Matter of fact, if you ever go to Las Vegas, just do what I do. Just watch everybody else gamble, and you'll feel much better. But matter of fact, Las Vegas is one of our friend George's favorite places, and I don't know how he can stand it out there in Las Vegas.
Lost wages.
He can have
it. It's a good. There was a movement back in, I guess, the 70s. That they were going to move all entertainment to Las Vegas, all TV show production, all everything, but it never really caught on, because actually it wouldn't caught on now, because since 2008 people don't gamble like they used to. You go to Atlantic City, it's not the same.
Right.
I'm sure, I don't know about Las Vegas, but it's not the heyday. People don't have money just to throw away anymore.
No.
These days.
Actually, people are a little bit smarter with their money. So
they should have always been smarter with their money.
That's right. That's right. So Vegas, I'll be on my way over there soon. I'll maybe throw the ball on the roulette wheel. Whoa, let's see if I can get craps.
The roulette wheel is luck.
Yes.
You say it's red or black, and if you actually pick the right number, then you win more. But mainly you can double your money just on red or black. But you know, it's just it's luck. It's almost like a deal or no deal. You know?
Yes.
Shows there are two shows on television: Deal or No Deal, Press Your Luck, which have no. I think we talked about it, have no skill. You just guess.
You just
throw out
guess.
numbers.
And,
I like Jeopardy.
Yes,
That should
Jeopardy.
know something.
You earn your money, but I always remember that one guy on Press Your Luck who memorized the board, and he won like over $250,000.
Well, that's
something like
well, there's your skill.
Yeah,
that's your skill.
And the producer said he was cheating. It's like,
oh man,
I wasn't cheating. I was just doing what I'm normally doing here. Like, stop. I was like, never hit a whammy.
You know, trouble is we talk a lot about sports on this show, but you can't really get away from gambling.
No,
because it seems people will, especially in baseball. They'll gamble. I mean, they may not gamble who wins the World Series, but they'll gamble like how many hits a guy will get.
Yeah.
Or how many pitches were thrown before he even gets a foul. I mean, people will bet on stuff like that.
Yes.
You know?
I heard you can bet on almost anything in Las Vegas, which they can have that garbage. But I will go over there to see how things work eventually. Maybe I'll take George along. Maybe I'll watch him lose all his money.
Take him.
Yeah. You know,
you should walk him over there.
Yeah.
Walk into your world. Now, let's see. And Las Vegas. Well, when I went there, I just went for the shows and the buffets.
And the buffets. I'm ready for the buffets. Bring the buffets back.
Buffets are not a thing anymore.
No, not for a while.
Oh, did they ever reopen the Golden Corral?
No. Golden Corral is not even open
up.
Or
those Chinese buffets?
A couple of them have opened up. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think all that food, what seems like such a great thing. Look at all this food outside. Out in the open air where you can just stick your spoon and grab it up, put it on your plate. It's not as appealing as it used to be.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, they can have it, but I don't mind buffets. I love buffets.
I stopped going to them because I was just eating too much. I was just
pigging out.
No, not only pigging out, but they're not really all that cheap. So sometimes they're like $12 or $15, and thus I want to get my money's worth. And they said you're about to die. What's his last words was, I want another bread roll. I went to the Golden Corral and ate a whole lot. This is many years ago, and probably the last time I was there. And so I go there, and I'm with some friends, and they said, "You have room for dessert?" And I said, "Yeah, I just want more meat and potatoes and stuff." So they said, "I have some desserts. They're good. Cheesecake and stuff like that." So I said, "Okay, I'll get a piece of ice cream or something." And I go there, and they had cotton candy machine.
What?
Yeah, like at the circus or like at the state fair. And I'm not kidding you. I had about 2 or 3 of these cotton candy you could eat pretty easily. There's always room for cotton candy.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something about cotton candy. If I would have known there was cotton candy before I ate all the meat and potatoes and everything, I would have just had like 50 or 60 cotton candies. When do I get a chance to eat that much cotton candy?
Yeah.
So
load up on cotton candy. Well, I tell you, golly, the hour, it can go by pretty fast sometimes. But it's been a great hour.
What? It's over?
Yeah.
Already?
I can't believe it. It's basically over. So we have to.
We haven't talked about women yet.
We sure haven't.
We love them. We still love them.
We still love women.
Okay, that's it. All I have to say. I don't want to upset anybody.
That'll be for next week. It's just like, it kind of remind me of the Halloween show George would do.
Oh yeah, what was that?
And it's like
we wear costumes.
Yeah, we wear costumes and everything.
That's fun.
I usually don't wear no costumes. I have to tell you something.
Where's yourself?
Yeah, I come as myself. Just that's good enough. But I can tell you some jokes later. But anyway, our show once again has been sponsored by Skunk Soap Remover. Remove all them skunks in your life. And by Trim Fat. Hey, we just dropped 300 pounds. Just that easily. Just wham, bam.
I heard a comedian once say, if you could pinch an inch off your forehead,
Uh-huh.
you need to lose weight.
And our brand new sponsor, GA, Gamblers Anonymous. Hey, you gotta roll the craps with them guys sometimes. But if you do go to GA, take a pair of dice. Maybe you just might get some good luck.
It's a paradise, with your paradise.
So
Not
next
paradox.
week, no, not paradox, paradise. But next week, or maybe 2 weeks down the road, we should be back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaye,
Thank you.
I should say Kaye Lazar.
Kaye Lazar is back.
Yes, thank you so much once again.
Now I'm back.
Now he's back. Ah, there he is. That's the true Kaye Lazar right there.
This is my Tom Cruise.
All you need now is just a volleyball.
Yeah, I need now. Well, yeah, volleyball.
Show me the man. And I'm Vinny Mac. Thank you for joining our show once again. We appreciate everybody who joined us live, and thank you for the comments. Thank you for listening to us. Next week, we will talk about women, so stay tuned for that. But also,
tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends. Also, next week, we'll have 2 contestants who will stand up here for a chance to win $100,000 in cash on Name That Tune. Yay!
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, peoples.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Takes like 20 minutes.